Hey, what's going on, guys? Mark with the Rad Computers Computer Repair Stream, and today we're going to be working on a NewTek TriCaster Mini. We've already done a drive clone on it because the old drive was failing, so we're going to do our best to try to replace this. It's very weird in the way that they've put it in here. It's basically a what do you call this? It's an ASRock motherboard, like a really small one. Smaller than standard mini ITX, might be like an ITX. But they put it inside this case, but then they have like this acrylic shell over the outside, so we're going to see if we can find a way to fix that. We have to take the shell off. I'll explain it all here in a second. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so I've never taken one of these apart. So it should be kind of fun. That's why I call it a Brainteaser. It's not built like a traditional case. Alright, so you can see that this is the way that the case is built. Power generally comes in through this DC in on the back. And then it comes in through this wire, and then it gets distributed here at this point. So it does have a giant power brick that has DC in it. This is just going to re-regulate and distribute the electricity to other components. So we need to take this out, but as you can see, it's mounted right here to these points, but if you look, there's no screws here because it's covered by this panel. So we need to figure out how to take this part out. It looks like it's like a bottom plate, and I don't know how they have it put in there. It's very peculiar.
So what we could do is, if you decided to get a refurb, you can transfer everything over from your old laptop to your new laptop.
So let me do one thing.
Or if you wanted to bring it in, we can actually upgrade it for you. Let me look at the pricing here. We're $150 an hour, but more likely we can do it less than an hour. So about an hour.
Let me see here. I just want to do one thing that's been bothering me for a little while.
So if I place you on a brief hold real quick, just to look something up real quick. Hey Rob, pricing for Windows upgrade, you think 150? Cheaper? Do less than half, less than more? I know what it is. I was wondering how to pull that up without actually changing the ticket. Oh, okay. I see.
Okay, there we go. Just tired of looking like I'm pasty gray. Okay. So we've got our toolkit here. Got a screw here that's covering this. This we can definitely take out.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it would be $125 upgraded.
So you can feel this right here. Just unscrews. This is the same way that the ASRock A300 would be, so definitely don't want to lose this piece right here. Yours may not be that loose. You may want to take it off with a wrench or a set of pliers. Hey, thanks Justin. I got Justin here. He's standing watching me on the TV right now. He's literally standing next to me. Brainteaser puzzle here. see where this goes.
I didn't say anything, you noticed that, right? Yeah, I did. I was like, okay.
Alright, so they've got this post here. Alright, so looking at the backside, this frame, this metal piece that it's this bottom right here, this piece, this does curve around, so it's actually folded in the back, which means that the casing is all one piece. Now if you look back here, you can see that there's a screw right there that's holding part of the acrylic on from the front. So let's work by taking this panel off first. I'll tell you what size hex you're gonna need. So in my little mini kit, this is probably a 2.5. Got the 2.5 free spins. The 3 is too big, so if you're using a Torx driver, then you're going to want to use a T15. Yep, a T15 driver. I'll take these out. Just create a screw corral right here. Alright, and you can see this panel, this acrylic panel, gets lit up by this right here. This is a little LED flex panel, and then these are the wireless antennas that come in through this side. You can see the motherboard here. Didn't really leave us much room to play with, but if we look, let's look at the other side. I think I know what we need to do. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna leave this here for a second. You want to be careful because those cables you can't really get out easily. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on disassembling this piece by piece, and then we'll throw it all back together. Your graphics card is right here. To get it out, you need to undo this screw right here, which is going to be maybe a T6. So we're going to undo that. Careful around your ribbon cable up here. I'm going to put my finger underneath where the cable can go. Oh, they've got one more. They have two of these, so they're using a custom bracket on this to hold that in place, because you normally don't need to screw them into two places. And you just gently slide this away. Alright. So this is the meat and potatoes of the NewTek TriCaster Mini. This is a custom board that they create that does all of your video ins and outs on the front. So it's this proprietary board right here, which is powered by this old school floppy drive Molex. So we need to take that out. We're going to go ahead and start by taking this cable off right here. This is a 4-pin that I assume is going to the processor. So we're just going to set that aside. Probably just flop it in there for a second. Next we will take this cable out, the floppy Molex. This does latch on from the bottom, so you kind of want to pull up and away. I'll show you that right there. Pull up and away. Hey, Antoine. There's a mod view? That's cool. It's awesome. Alright. Next, let's see here. We do want to take this board out. We're trying to take this out right here, and I don't know how far we're going to have to go to get to it. We could probably do it right now using the correct tools. Yeah, alright, I think we can get to it. So, this is basically my view right now. So I want to get a Phillips head here and here to take that board out. Let's go ahead and take this off first. There's a clip behind here. This is a 24-pin adapter. This probably goes to the motherboard itself. So we want to pinch the clip on the back side and gently wiggle it up. It's definitely easiest to start at the edges and then walk it up like that. So one side, the other side, one side, the other side. So now we've got those cables disconnected. Alright. So you can see where the hard drive is and why I feel it's in such an odd location. For this, I'm actually going to use our bendy tube driver. This will just make this portion of it a lot easier. If you don't have one of these, I'm sure you can do it without. It's just not going to be quite as easy. If you need a screwdriver kit like this is an Oria like $12 kit on Amazon. No sponsored plug there. It's just we just get the cheap one that works. This is definitely where this is coming in handy, is this corner right here. Alright, so again, this is just for power distribution and reassignment from the 12 volt that comes in, or 19 volt, whatever it may be. Alright, so we see the hard drive now, and you can definitely tell it is screwed in, because you can see the screw threads that are coming in right here. So that's great. Alright, so there must be another way to take this out. So what we'll do is start with this bottom side right here. Now you can tell that these cables are long enough to at least keep everything on one side. Let me get this out of the way. Crotch shot. Okay.
Oh, no. Wait, that's not good. Fuck. Sorry.
What'd you do?
It's more than likely
What happened?
he got the error at the end of Cronius.
That says what?
I clicked on ignore all.
Okay, that's fine. How far was it?
It may have to do with data stickers. It may be the virus software.
Alright. So again, using a T6 to take out these two screws.
Yeah, if I got some extra time, I'm gonna pop this over. Yeah, we'll do that right now.
Just making it easy to get past this registration sticker right here.
Go ahead, okay. Shut down. Shut
Alright, so it feels like this screw right here, which is used for grounding the part to the case, is actually holding the case on. So let me get a pair of pliers real quick. All right.
Yeah, so this was the hard part.
So we really just want to take this out. Be careful as you get to the end so that you don't drop it. Yep, sure enough, it's attached. So they have one on each side. That's how they got the bottom on there. Okay, so we'll flip this over gingerly. And you can see on the back side, we could take this out entirely, but let's go ahead and disconnect this real quick. This goes to the LED lights. There's the other here's the other nut that's holding that on. They do not give you a lot of working room here. Probably best to do with better tools than what I've got. A socket set. This is like ridiculous. Still slowly going. Hey Kevin, do you still have your socket set?
Yes.
Can I borrow it? Never mind. Again, be careful. Grazie. Alright. So you can see how that is going to come off. But there's a problem. So this is all one solid piece. You actually have to take all of them off to get at it. So I'm going to use the socket set now so we can make this easier. I'm gonna guess that it's a 7mm.
Oh, no, it's the top, it's the power. Okay, gotcha.
Oh man. Well, that sucks. It does look to be a 7mm, but that one is too tall. Can't even really get it in there. That sucks. Yeah, it's not gonna work either. That freaking sucks. Alright, well, it looks like it's a 7mm. I can't get it to sit in there because it's too tight, so wrench it is. Pliers. Hey, what's up, Okita? Welcome back, Darkest. It is important to note, since I didn't say this before, make sure you're doing this without the computer plugged into electricity.
Are you going to use the existing drive in there? It's going to be slow.
I don't know.
Now I'm just going to...
Leave them both connected.
I'm just going to disconnect it for now. But some people are like, well, you just forgot.
Leave them both connected.
Leave them both connected?
Yes, so he has more space.
Okay.
Just make sure that it's booting from the solid state drive. Drive C should be a 500 gig.
Drive C. Okay.
That I believe is, yeah. It's just the hard drive that we used at the beginning.
So the SSD is going on the 0 cable, right? And then I flop the cables around?
Yes. Alright. I think that's all of them. So now it's just a matter of gently pushing all of these out of their holes. And sliding that away. So now we've got the shell off. And now we can see the screws that are actually holding that drive in. Right here, these four. So we return back to a Phillips head. And I'm just going to put my hand under here so that I'm basically holding off the drive, because I'm going to take all 4 screws out. Not worried about it falling until the last screw, so just set these down.
What I'll do for now is see our performance.
Alright, here's the last one. This drive will now be loose.
That one on the side, I don't think that's not.
There it is. It's got some rubber dampeners on here. They're not necessarily needed for the solid state, but I will go ahead and move them over. We're replacing a 750 gig black with a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue solid state drive. These rubber feet are getting destroyed because they're stickers. They're not super sticky. Again, this probably isn't necessary because we're switching to a solid state drive, but Just in case he decides, hey, I want high capacity instead, then it'll be good to have the feet there.
Not sure what the other button is.
Alright.
Yeah, one's taped on.
Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and reverse this process. You can see through to all the feet.
Oh, really? And I didn't disconnect anything.
Okay. Yes, I did. Yeah, I had to fix the server stuff for Mob Crush for some reason. It was just being a brat. Okay, now I guess we can go ahead and reverse this process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all the cables are connected.
The other thing is the fan's still disconnected. Sometimes there is a sensor that
Just going to hand tighten these real quick. Just to get them in place so I don't have to worry about this flopping around anymore. Plus I'm going to take it off anyway.
it's only one of I think that's that one.
Okay, that just makes it easier to put back together. So now we've got to put these screws back into place, and we want to make sure that we're doing it in the correct orientation. So before we kind of just slid it off, this time we're just gonna kind of slide it on. You can tell that they have these guides here to help keep the mouth open at the angle that they are. So this kind of makes it easier, sort of, maybe not really. It is semi-flexible, so I guess we'll just stretch to win. Oh, that's important. So as you're going down, this front panel is going to want to get into your HDMIs. You want to pull that away from the HDMIs. So make sure that when you're sliding this down, it's not getting hung up in those HDMI ports. Otherwise, you're just going to chew those ports up and they're not going to work. Alright. There we go. HDMIs are all intact. And now we've got the top and the bottom to worry about, so I'm just going to press that. Down here, I'm just going to press that. There we go. So that's mounted. I can go ahead and put this in. Now let's go ahead and get these screws on. Or I'm sorry, not the screws, but the nuts. The bendy tube kicks butt. Oh, right on. That's good, Bobeta. How's she doing? Alright, so we're going to do all of this side first, and then we'll do all of the other side next. I'm not going to make these overly tight. There's really no need. But for this one, I'll go ahead and figure out what size that is. Pretty sure it's a 7 mil. Oh no, I'm wrong. It's a 6.5. So hand tighten it with a 6.5. That should work. Alright. There's one right here. This is the other side.
Didn't show anything else, so I couldn't feel the power supply.
Alright. That should be good. Alright, so now let's go ahead and mount this.
Make sure the cable's actually like plugged in, right?
Yeah. This is fine. Positive that way.
Let's see.
One thing I think is
There it is.
I never had a problem with these plugs, and this monitor is using the same strip, so I don't need to turn the power off. See, this, I couldn't lose any connector to power supply.
Alright, we're going to use our bendy tube again.
Yeah, no, man. I didn't realize how much of a mess the inside of this looks like.
They should just go out.
Might have to put it in there by hand or using the straight so that I don't have to worry about one screw. Let's do the extension on this. Of course, they use a screw that's not very magnet friendly. I know what I need for this. It's in my car though. It's okay.
You saw it too, right? It was just sitting there.
I'm not entirely sure which wire it was. So,
Give me just a second. So that remounts the power supply. 6.5 millimeters, so metric. Imperial is always measured in inches, so it would have been, I would have said 6.5 inches. Which we don't have because we're not working on a Caterpillar truck. Oh man, okay. Alright, so just go ahead and get the screws that go into the other side real quick. Or I keep calling them screws. They're actually they're bolts or nuts. Damn, I'm all over the place. Okay. This is a 90-degree pick that I'm putting the stuff on. This is just to help me guide this on without too much worry that I'm going to drop it. Because my fingers suck. It's actually harder with this. Let's try it like that. The British don't have the funny measures we do. I don't know where this thing was assembled, but whoever did it had really small hands. It tore up my fingernail. Okay, so there's that. We got one on this side now. This was the pain in the butt, the like really difficult one, I think. Nope, that one was relatively easy. This is the part that's difficult, is securing it. Alright, and now we've got this one right here. That's the last one.
Oh, no, you're good, man. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. This stuff happens to me all the time. It's not like the whole system fucking bag on me.
All right. That was not meant for my tiny hands, that's for sure. Oh wait, I don't have tiny hands.
No, I got tiny hands.
Alright, so that takes care of all of those. We've got this. It is notable that you can put a M.2 SSD on the back here, or even an NVMe, but it has to be one of the shorter ones, because this is a area for M.2 drives, so you can put that in there if you want. We're going to attach this drive cage again. Not worried too much about the cables because they are shielded. They're not shielded, but they do have conduit. What's the word? Not shielding. You have conductors and God, my brain is tired. Insulator. They are insulated. Ha! Figured it out. Yeah, it's the drive. The drive was the failure point. So we're gonna go ahead and put these back in. Make sure it's upright. No, it's not. So the NewTek logo is upside down. We'll just spin this 180 degrees. I know it's upside down because the numbers over here on the side are facing the other direction, so spin that. Speaking of, did you fix the graphics card problem on the other one?
No. That HP that got picked up, you mean?
No, the one I told you to move up after spinning the knock to 180 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
I thought he was picking it up.
No, I'm having Justin deliver it to him.
When you said graphics card problem, I thought you meant it was broken.
Oh yeah, no. All right.
Yeah, I think it's not there.
Next we do the graphics card.
Actually, I guess to create the alleged seal.
Actually, nope, we need this Molex cable here. Okay. I'm looking for one other cable. It's the one where we actually plug everything in. Ah. Okay. Alright, so now the graphics card is in. We're going to go ahead and secure it.
Son of a bitch.
What?
It's powered on.
Oh, did? Well, I did like 9 other things.
Yeah.
I pulled the cables off. You know what it was? This wasn't plugged in all the way. So I went and reseated everything, this and this one. So that wasn't plugged in all the way.
Go ahead and take care of the other
When I laid on its side, the
screws here.
So, Now I need to backtrack.
This again is using a T6 driver.
Because I want to take it back to the state and it challenged it.
Hey, what's going? Oh my God, it's Canis. What's up, dude? Canis? Canis Majoris class. Our #1 loyal viewer. He's come to grace us with his presence. Hey. How are you, man? Good to have you here. Hey, is the stream choppy for anybody else, or is it just the computer I'm previewing it on?
Give it 20 minutes.
Because I was watching it on the computer that's in front of me, and it looked like junk.
That's why I checked every single cable following through, and then when I hit the one that went into the power, the motherboard, it went like this.
Canis Majoris. Alright, so this cable right here actually was dual function, so
Yeah, luckily I didn't dump a lot of money into this, like, not like as much as some people pay for outright.
it actually needs to go here for grounding, and then here as well.
They get us paying like $600, $700 all parts.
Looks like this. Badass. It's like
Okay.
double everything in here.
Yeah, I don't know what's causing the choppiness. Sorry, guys. I might need to stream at a higher bit rate. Yeah, I think it looks choppy too.
I know it does have all the wires.
I just want to finish this up, and then the next stream we do will be 720 instead of 1080,
Sure, we can look in to see why it's not.
or I'll increase the bit rate.
Maybe it burned up. That's why I spun it. It still spun freely, but normally all those powers are hot, and normally this would just power on itself. I think we got that. We might have a replacement. Yeah, see? Yeah. Maybe it's this.
Yeah, I think the person who set up the computer for me, they said that they just didn't connect and they're like, here you go,
So for those of you that want to use
I don't think so, no.
Okay. It was connected to a power supply.
It was?
Yeah. If you remember, I couldn't pull it out.
a socket set,
But what did
this one right here is
Different story.
Yeah. These should be.
a 10 millimeter.
This is coming off the back here. Oh, so it's probably a setting on here. One of these things comes up. Yeah, I think this was it, right? It's plugged into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a setting. One of these turn on.
So the power supply in is a 10 millimeter for those of you that want to know. And then lastly, we've got this right here. I don't remember how it went. Don't even really know what's here.
You can do it, man. Come on.
It's gonna go, I don't want to. You still have programs open. You know, open your programs shut down anyway.
Got it.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Let's see, where's that screw? Oh, there it is.
And yeah, if I want to upgrade in the future, I can swap out that hard drive for an SSD, right?
Yeah.
did.